And we're back. Mike,
What's
what's
up,
going
Angel?
on, man?
Oh, not much, man. Busy as can be. Living
Same
the
here,
dream,
man.
you?
Same here, man. Same here. It's been a little while until we since we've done the last podcast. I forget when that was, but
Yeah, well, the
had
seminar.
Father's Day last weekend. It was pretty cool.
Yeah,
How
it
was,
was. It was a good time.
how was yours?
The seminar was, what's that, sorry?
The Father's Day.
Father's Day was nice. It was just a small little dinner. My brothers worked there. We just had some patio drinks and nice
Just hung out, huh?
burger. And yeah, it was awesome, man. The food was amazing. So, good time. How about yourself?
No, nothing crazy. Just spent it with family. Spent a couple hours with them, and came
Yeah.
back home and back to the nitty gritty.
Awesome, awesome.
Yeah, man. So, but yeah, no, we had that webinar last week, which was pretty cool.
Yeah, no, it was
Got
fun.
to,
I'm glad we got to do that. I'm glad we got to expose a little bit about our brands and just kind of open up a little bit of kind of what we're doing and how we can help people and how it can resonate with some people and how it can help them and benefit them, right? So
yeah. And you know, it's funny because I'm always going to say the same thing over and over. And like I said, eh, when it comes to coaching, people don't really know what that is. They don't really grasp the whole thing. Like it's just like, it's always like an unsolved mystery on what coaching really is. And I think as far as teaching, as far as guidance, that's the best
yeah,
thing that we could that's really the best way to describe it. But it's just using it as a guidance and another person's point of view.
right.
So like when whatever issues, whatever thing you have going on and you want to get insight on it, I think this is where coaching comes in, is where you can get a better insight about someone else's perspective, instead of always trying to figure things out on your own and try to figure things out. What can I do next? Hey, what do you think I should do next? Or I need
Yeah,
some advice on this, on this or on that. You know, I know it sounds a little bit cliche, but it's true. You know.
it's a fact. Yeah, no, it definitely helps kind of steer people into the right direction to kind of take a look at themselves a little bit more and just kind of figure out what they want, why they want it, and not so much really be so wrapped up in fear and drop their fear and drop their limiting beliefs and really just have them persevere because we're all capable of it. We're all capable of doing great things, and that's what we're here for. Like I've said before, you know, we all have our own divine purpose.
Mm-hmm.
So
It's how
yeah,
you, like I said, man. We got to design our own lives, and you know we always got to make the right decisions, and you know,
we're co-creators. We're
co-creators, exactly.
humans are co-creators. We create our own reality by the choices we make, by the thoughts we have, by the actions we take. I mean, it's all relevant on one's choice to move in that direction. You have all full capability of making your own choices. Period. I know it's
Absolutely, man.
not to sound cliche or anything, but yeah, just to kind of add to that, as far as when it comes to guidance, like you'd mentioned, coaching, like you'd mentioned. So yeah, but today's topic is gonna,
It's cheaper than therapy,
yeah,
for sure.
yeah, no doubt.
Blow your
Well,
mind.
what's that?
It blows your mind.
Yeah, exactly.
Dude, before we even like talk about what we're gonna talk about today, I went to the beach today.
Yeah, how was that?
It's 101 degrees today in Orlando, man. It's
Oh,
crazy.
sweatshop.
I drove for like an hour to the coast, like to
Yeah,
the East Coast, which is it's called Cocoa,
yeah.
Florida. Um, it was ridiculous. I was there for like literally like an hour, and then the clouds started coming in, and I left.
It
I got
starts
like
to
a
rain.
burnt. Yeah, it rains like almost every day during the summertime. It rains like almost every single day, man. But
Yeah, hey,
I had to get some vitamin D in me, man.
that's good. I bet you felt good.
It did. Got a little
Yeah,
burnt. Got really burnt, but it's not the greatest feeling in the world. But I feel like my skin got some action. So,
there's no better vitamin D, man, than getting the sun. You
yep.
can't beat the natural radiance from it. I mean, you just can't. I mean, it's just up here in Canada, like 6 months of the year, we're so without that vitamin D that we got to like load up on vitamin D pills
Yeah.
like heavy because we're so depleted of it. I mean, personally, in the wintertime myself, I take between like 5,000 IUs to like 10,000 IUs a day in the wintertime when we literally have no sun for a while, and you just can't absorb it. Like, even if you got your winter jacket on and it's sunny, you're not exactly
Yeah.
absorbing it into your skin or anything, right? So as
Yeah.
much. So
Well, I
we're
mean,
really depleted.
I haven't been to the beach in like such a long time. And go figure, I live in Florida. I don't go to the beach like that. It's like I
Oh,
live in Orlando. People ask me, "Oh, you go to Disney World all the time?" I'm like, no,
no, not really.
it doesn't work that way. Sorry. No.
That's I've already seen Mickey Mouse many, many times. Yeah.
Yeah. I've
But
seen
if I
her.
live by the beach, I try to make my way there at least once a
Oh
day.
my God. If I lived by the beach, shit,
Yeah.
man. Be there every day. But yeah, man, it feels good to get some sun in, and I needed
Nice.
that. I needed that. I needed that. But speaking of which, about vitamins, but today's topic is gonna be a what? Vegan, meat.
Yeah, so we're going to talk about veganism, vegetarianism, meat consumption, that sort of thing. Plant eaters versus meat eaters, sort of thing, just to kind of
Well, let me just start off by saying I'm a carnivore.
okay.
So I love my meats. And whoever's watching and people are vegans, I'm not trying to downgrade it or make fun of it. That's how I've always been, and I do respect animals. So
No judgment, dude.
no judgment, no puns
No
intended.
judgment here.
I
No.
am learning. I am learning to explore other boundaries, to explore other
Yeah.
ways of dieting. So take it away, brother.
Yeah, no, for sure. Yeah, and that's perfectly okay. There's definitely, like a lot of people, follow what they've known for so long from family history, from family upbringing, or just, your heritage or whatever the case may be. Just personally, I just kind of wanted to bring it up just as a good topic because there's a lot of increasing awareness and a lot of questions about plant eating and whatnot that have come up in recent years. There's a lot more openness to it, and people are kind of catching on that. Hey, you know what? The vegan and vegetarian diet isn't really all that bad.
Mm-hmm.
It's not just all plain vegetables and whatnot. I mean, there's a lot of things you can supplement for on chilies and all things like that, and different types of meats that you can have that you can barbecue. And there's just so many things that you can
Yeah.
do that tastes very well similar and has a lot more plant benefits and digest better in the body and whatnot. So
No.
I just kind of wanted to touch on that. Like myself, I've been, I would say, like I said, I don't know if I've mentioned it yet. No, 85% vegetarian is what I've been for the last year or two. I would say about a good almost 2 years now, let's say. And so when I'm at home, I cook a lot of vegetarian options. I'm not fully vegan yet because I mean I still consume some dairy and whatnot, like some cheese, with certain meals and whatnot. That's
Yes.
kind of hard to get away. That's kind of hard to get away from a little bit, but like it's becoming more popular, especially when it comes to like fitness and health related and wellness, because there's a lot more evidence out there that's really pointing to a lot of the scientific benefits of plant-based diet. Now, I'm not saying that you, Angel, should cut out meat or anybody else for that matter. What I'm trying to do is just bring a little bit more awareness to the forefront a little bit
Yeah.
as to a lot of the benefits of a plant-based diet
Yeah.
that is just like wow. And for me, I'm a foodie. I love the taste of food. And I for years I loved the taste of burgers. For the years love the taste of like steak and chicken and all that stuff too, and things like that. But yeah, just little by little for me, it was just a matter of just kind of slowly but surely implementing, little changes here and there and little additions to my food options. And I was actually like, wow, like taken back by a lot of the dishes that I've made and the food that I've consumed. And I just kind of naturally gravitated over time toward it.
Right.
That makes sense.
And it's funny because I know that there's a lot of rumors or there's a lot of things. I mean, I don't really get into like conspiracy theory or nothing like that, but it's good to know. But correct me if I'm wrong. Isn't there something going on with the meat where it's like there's a like the whole thing with the preservatives and the GMOs and everything like that. Like, how does that even work? Like, I know that I want to learn more about it, or I'm learning on my own, or I get advice from you on how to diet better or what things to get, because there seems to be a lot of misconceptions and a lot of things going on where to shop, like specific grocery stores, Whole Foods, or even organic. I know everybody likes to say organic nowadays, but how true is organic? Like, what does that even mean nowadays?
You know, the best organic that you could probably ever do is grow your own. If you can grow your own in your own yard or some sort of land of some sort and grow your own, that's the truest organic you'll find, because you really don't know exactly what 100% organic is at the stores. Because if I was a betting man, I would still say that some pesticides are leaking on from those organic fields, or sorry, those regular fields
Yeah.
that are pesticided, sprayed onto the organic side. And I think there's been some evidence that has actually supported that too. That you still got to wash a lot of your fruit. You still got to, regardless of if it's organic or not. But when it comes to a lot of meats that, yeah, like you mentioned, are containing a lot of preservatives, a lot of GMOs and whatnot, you will find that, yeah, that's mass produced, like mass produced beef, has trace amounts of a lot of, dyes, preservatives, GMOs. These things are not very good. And if you see my uh, Instagram and Facebook posts earlier about GMOs, generally for the most part, there's a lot of evidence that supports that they are generally not safe, that anything that you kind of enhance and synthetically try to genetically modify or re-engineer is going to have adverse effects, because it's just not natural to do that to food, right? So I mean, when you go to
that's what it really comes down to. Like, you don't
well,
really
yeah,
know.
exactly. And what adverse reactions is it having on the body?
Yeah.
There hasn't really been a whole lot of extended studies on it yet. So that's why a lot of people are becoming more increasingly aware of this portion of the meat. And they're saying, you know what? Plant-based diet doesn't sound so bad after all the evidence that's come out. And I think that's where people are really starting to kind of wake up a little bit when it comes to that, because they're finding out that a lot of meat consumption, primarily, especially red meat, beef,
Yeah.
is
And
just,
that's really high. I mean, that's at least here in the States.
one of the highest cholesterol. It's a fact. It like every time you eat it, like your cholesterol levels rise from it, and not in a good way. It's raising up a lot of the bad cholesterol, right? Not the good cholesterol. So that's becoming more aware of that in our society, which is good, because people are taking a stand and saying, you know what, like, this isn't right. This should not be in our food. And not even so much that too. That's just one side of the spectrum when it comes to as to why people are just deciding against a lot of the meat consumption that you see.
Yeah. And it's funny you say that, because like I said, like growing up, I come from very come from a Puerto Rican background.
Yeah.
And we love our food. We are known
Yeah,
for
for sure.
You got the rice, you got the meats, I mean, you name it. It's just,
yeah,
the Latin community is just, we love our food, and there's definitely a lot of meat into it. And I mean, you could always choose not to eat that, but
yeah,
we do have healthier options as well. But coming from, like, if you were to give someone like me, for example, someone who's been eating meat their whole life, but want to kind of like change shifts and want to learn how to eat a little bit better, as far as trying to not trying to not eliminate meat completely, but learn how to like slow it down a little bit.
yeah, like kind of mix it up.
Yeah, kind of mix it up a little bit, because I've been
Yeah.
exploring my options, and I definitely want to make sure that when I'm transitioning to trying to do vegetarian meals that can taste similar to what I'm used to.
Yeah, so you don't shock your
How do you
taste buds.
recommend that to someone watching, or someone like me? Like, how would you start off?
Well, there's lots. For one, if you don't want, I would start off being a little bit of a vegetarian, like transitioning into it. Like you can do 1 week, vegetarian meals, and there's lots of choices out there. And then, you can kind of blend it in with your 3 weeks post of other meat consumption that you normally do. You know, you can kind of do 1 week or 2 weeks and just kind of progressively do that. Mix it into the mix. Like, I mean, for me, I prepare my food in advance. So, you know, 1 week is usually kind of the norm. But there's lots of options out there. Like if you're really accustomed to having burgers, there's a lot of good vegetarian burgers out there that are absolutely delicious and, you know, do actually taste like a lot of meat.
Right.
Some of the ones I buy are like quinoa burgers and I think it was sweet potato and there's just a bunch of other ones and I try to avoid the soy ones because soy is generally not the best
I've heard about that. What's up with that?
It's not really good for men because it does induce a little bit more of estrogen in men. So that's not really a good thing. You don't want that. And it's been known to do that. Soy is typically, especially non-organic soy, apparently has that a lot more adverse reactions on the body, especially for men primarily. So that being said,
I'm sorry, I didn't mean to interrupt you.
Yeah.
I was looking at it. I was looking it up right now, and it looks like it has like chickpeas, beans, onions.
Yep.
But
chickpeas, lentils.
It even has ground meat on it. Why ground meat?
What's that?
It has ground meat. It says here chickpeas, beans, onions, breadcrumbs, vegetable protein, and ground meat.
That sounds like a recipe.
Okay. Yeah. So I'm like, I thought it was. I thought
a
vegan burger doesn't have meat.
They don't eat meat. Generally, they don't eat meat.
Okay.
Meat is restricted. Vegans are a little bit more stricter when it comes to that. Vegans follow more of a diet that just doesn't even have any animal byproducts like cheese and things like that. So
yeah, because it's all cheese, milk, and all that.
Yeah, like I mean, vegetarians, you could still have seafood. Like I eat a lot of fish. I eat a lot of salmon, primarily the most. I love that. I can't get away from that. There's nothing like a barbecued salmon that to me it just is awesome. It tastes amazing, and it's just a good meal to have for a few days or whatever, right? Especially if you buy a big one. And but yeah, you can get veggie burgers, like I mentioned. You can do lentils. You can do different types of black beans and brown beans, and you can kind of compile even a whole bunch of vegetarian options like that. And if you're a taco guy or a stir fry guy, you can mix that up and actually make your own stir fry in with a bunch of other vegetables, and it's just awesome, dude. It literally tastes just like you normally would have.
It's so basically instead of right, so it's like you mentioned stir fry or having a taco or whatever. Yeah. So basically, instead of having meat in it, you're replacing that with beans, type of thing.
Yeah, because like you, I've in my mother's family, she's Portuguese, so we've had countless dishes of meats over the years, right? So, and that's normally what we eat. That's just normally what we were accustomed to growing up. We were mostly on that type of food, right? Which is no complaints when I was growing up. I absolutely still love it. I still partake in it. That's why I'm about 85% vegetarian. Right. Just because of that reason. Like when I go to my family's house, like a lot of the times, yeah, they're making different types of meat dishes and whatnot. I try to stay away from the red meat so much. If it's a white meat, turkey, something like that, it's not going to kill you. It's fine. It's really a matter of that a lot of meats are acidic, and people who are trying to be kind of focused more on alkalinity and raising their alkalinity level, which I've touched on that before in the past.
And it's all about how you feel too, and what you put in your body is how it makes you feel. Because I've noticed that, I'm not going to lie, when I would indulge and I will just start eating, when I will go to my family's house or if I'm at home and I'll eat, I will get full. Like I will overindulge. I will just overeat. And then when I'm done, I just feel
sleep coma.
That sleep coma. Yeah. Like I'm just, it's not a good feeling. And it's not good. It's not really good. It's not good for your body at all. So I definitely want to, like I said, good thing I'm asking you these questions because, like I said, a person from me that's used to eating a lot because I'm a foodie. I love food.
Oh, same here, dude.
So
same here.
It's all about how you want to feel, have more energy. What I mean? And like I said,
the older if you do it for even just like, if you tried it, let's say for a few weeks to 30 days, even, if you could stretch out the discipline and really be serious and actually stretch it out for a few weeks to even a month, like you'll notice, man, that your head doesn't feel that fogginess anymore. You'll feel more energetic. You'll feel Like you don't need naps throughout the
Yeah.
day as much
Yeah.
anymore,
Yeah.
just
Yeah.
from
Yeah.
that fatigue or whatever. So you just don't really get that so much when you're just on a plant-based diet. Um, Now some of the proteins, if you're concerned about that, like I mentioned, lentils, quinoa is a good one, wild rice is a good one, cashews, peanuts, kidney beans, things like
Yeah.
that, like are really good sources of that,
High in
right?
protein too.
High in protein, yeah, like very high in protein. So, if you're looking to, like a lot of vegetarians I would say vegans, because vegans don't consume any byproducts at all. They got to really watch their iron levels. Like if you're not getting also in your EPA, DHA levels as well from that you would get traditionally from seafood. So if you're not receiving that from seafood or supplementation, like it's very important that you have to take supplementation for it, like vitamins B12 to really kind of replenish a lot of the iron that you're lacking. So that's one drawback about it is you really got to stay on top of that. Otherwise you start becoming anemic, and some people that have those like real dark circles under their eyes. I mean, that's a form of anemic too, right? So good sources of iron, artichokes, chard, chickpeas, like you had mentioned earlier, kidney beans as well, quinoa, oats, sunflower seeds, pumpkin seeds, and things like that. So, like there's lots of good choices out there for people to consider.
Yeah, I'm
Lots,
really
and
like
you know
almond
what the
milk.
thing is too? It's like being a foodie myself. Like the food, when you can come up with some pretty good like creative options, like the food tastes amazing. The food actually sometimes even tastes better, when you cook it right to your perfection, however like you like it,
Yeah.
and oils and seasonings and all that jazz. I mean, it's nice. It's actually pretty good.
Yeah, and it's very it's pretty it's a very interesting diet um, that I feel like it could really benefit from, because, like I said, if you wanna better your health, or you want to watch what you eat,
Yeah.
people who have high cholesterol, people who have high blood pressure, it's always good to change your diet in some certain way. Um, you know, but doesn't that have to do anything with salt? Like, do you think like even if you change to a certain diet, your salt levels go up? Like your sodium
No,
level
not
on
it.
that?
Depends on what you're buying. The sodium levels, you still want to be mindful of the sodium content that you're still putting in your body. You want to kind of find that happy medium, just because your body does need sodium, but like you don't necessarily need added salt to your food. Like I personally, when I cook, I don't add any salt. I mean, the food itself contains enough sodium to get you through the day that your body regularly is required the normal amount for it to consume. So,
Right.
you know, you don't necessarily need to add anything else, especially if you're really trying to control blood pressure and diabetes and things like that. You want to kind of refrain from adding a whole lot of salt from that, right?
Right.
Um, Heart disease, things like that. So, but no, if anything, it's actually a lot lower. It depends what you buy though too. Like I've seen some lower quality vegan products that will have a lot of high sodium in it. So you kind of want to just be mindful of some of that too, and still watch your sodium content. But
Just like with anything, too much of anything is bad for you.
oh no, definitely, yeah. So one
I
of
know
the things,
that
what's that?
we keep interrupting.
No, it's all good, dude.
I want to say something. Like I like to throw in, um vegetable oil, or like olive oil. I'm really into olive oil.
You like putting olive oil where, like on your salads and
On my
stuff?
salads, or even on my salad, or on my chicken.
Okay.
If I make chickens or anything like that, I like to put in olive oil. I like putting olive oil on my bread. Like if I go to a restaurant, like an Italian restaurant,
Yeah.
I will add like olive oil and everything. It's just good for you. But I also heard that like peanut oil is good for you as well. All these
Yeah,
different.
oils are good. Definitely. I use coconut oil quite a bit for my meals. Olive oil for, salads and things like that. Um, yeah, another thing too with vegetarians and pescatarians is that pescatarians, are allowed to have eggs and seafood as far to get their EPA DHA. So they're a little bit less risk when it comes to a lot of the side effects of like vegans are.
Right.
Vegans are definitely like they cut everything out, right? Like they have to probably take a lot more supplementation. But what I was going to point out with the meat is, like I said, when like a lot of the preservatives and the GMO comes from a lot of the mass market produced, supermarket type, like red meat primarily, right? So if you can get your meat from like a private, even like Hutterite farms, some people get it from, or like,
Right.
like local type meat, meat butchers or something like that, like places like that where they actually have like real meat that's not kind of mass produced is what I'm trying to say. Then the quality is a lot better. So what I'm saying is you can mix the two into your diet. It's probably better than nothing, than just jumping over and just saying, you know what, I'm just going to straight be a vegetarian or a vegan, right?
Right.
So kind of just like you right away, you're good to decide for both or whatever works for you. But I wouldn't even recommend just suddenly jumping into a vegetarian or vegan diet, like, feet first, because it's something you could kind of change your body tone a little bit too, right? And as far as the structure of your sickness or if your health, whatnot, like it could shock a little bit of systems is what I'm trying to say.
Yeah.
So yeah.
I mean, I want to take it like baby steps type of thing, because it's gonna be like a whole transition
Yeah.
it's like a big leap too. So,
Yeah. No, I enjoy it, man. I like it. It's fun. It's well, it's not fun, but it's actually fun making the meals. I guess you could say it's fun, like kind of
it's fun to try different things.
Yeah, it's fun to try different things too. I mean, you kind of get bored with just steak over the years.
Like I have a pressure cooker that I like using.
Yeah.
Like I like to meal prep, and I like to just throw, I like to just throw things in the pressure cooker and let it cook. And then, it's just a quick way. I mean, if you live, you have a busy schedule, it's kind of hard to make a full meal at once, but
Oh, exactly. And those are awesome. Those are actually a really good way to cook your food too.
Yeah.
One thing I wanted to point out was the one thing that kind of brought this to a lot of awareness even recently within the last year was a documentary on Netflix, The Game Changers, which showcased Arnold Schwarzenegger and a whole bunch of other talked about bodybuilding and talked about a bunch of other celebrities that were on there actually kind of who switched over to a vegan diet or vegetarian diet, and they've noticed a huge, tremendous difference in their training, in their sleep, in their energetic levels. Like, it's crazy. And the documentary is actually quite documented when it comes to a lot of the info in it. So highly recommend it. It's a good show.
Right. I haven't checked that out yet, but I definitely want to check that documentary one of these days and check out all that stuff. Cause I know on YouTube I'll watch a little bit of those, bodybuilder guys, and they spend all day eating. I'm like, wow, that's a lot of food that you're putting in your system just to lift weights and all that stuff. I mean, I respect the sport. I mean, it's pretty cool if you're into that.
Yeah, this one's not quite like that. It's not like a bunch of like muscle heads, just like it's actually pretty informative. Like I was actually pretty impressed with how they portrayed it, and actually a lot of the scientific evidence that actually pointed a lot to it, and just the awareness that I was just kind of already familiar with some of the material that I've read over the years and learned about, and I was like, wow. And just the personal use of it and the personal trial of it was bigger than any of it, just trying it out for myself for like 30 days. And then in 30 days became like 3 more months. And then I just, honestly, you like feeling good and you like the energy from it. You just don't feel sluggish, I guess you can say.
Right.
Yeah.
Well, that's something that I definitely gotta check out. I mean, I know we usually talk about teas and all that stuff, and it has to do with dieting and all that stuff, but I see that we have our tea sessions. I'm really into ginger tea. I told you that before. Have you ever tried this one tea? It's called Yogi.
Yogi? No.
Yogi ginger tea?
I don't think so. No.
It's like
I'm drinking a green tea with ginger in it.
Really? Yeah, definitely. It's good. It's just good for the stomach. Good for digestion.
Yeah, I like it. I prefer it. I find it gives you a better kind of a mental focus throughout the day, especially first thing in the morning, like when you're starting your day. It just like kind of helps just kind of gear down the focus a little bit.
Yeah, because the thing is, I'm a coffee person, so
Yeah.
I tried doing tea in the morning, like herbal tea that
Oh
has
yeah.
caffeine in it, but it's not the same.
No, it's
I
definitely not. It doesn't give you that kick.
It doesn't. It really
No.
doesn't give you. And I thought it would as a possible replacement at the time. And
Yeah.
I did like an experiment with it. Try to do it like for like a week, and it wasn't working.
Yeah.
It wasn't working, at least for me. So I just went back to coffee, and I just watched how I don't use that much sugar like I used to. But just having having a cup of coffee, having a cup of coffee in the morning it's actually pretty beneficial for you. But more than that, you shouldn't. Just like anything.
Yeah, generally you kind of want to just balance it out like anything else, right? Your water intake should be obviously higher than your coffee. With
Water all the time, for sure.
starting any type of new diet, like I'm not recommending people just suddenly jump into this diet. If you got health issues or you've got concerns or diabetes or something, like you should always, like I always try to mention, you should check with your doctor before you start any type of diet. I'm just kind of throwing out some really good points and things that I've learned and have worked for myself when it comes to a lot of the vegetarian diet, because it's worked on me. Like, and I've been doing it for pretty close to 2 years now, I think. Yeah, I would say so, about 2 years. And yeah, so everything in moderation. If you're going to try it, try it slowly, and notice the subtle differences and tweaks in your diet and your routine and what you're normally consuming. And you'll definitely notice just in how you feel. But again, take it slow, check with your doctor. Just a disclaimer.
Yeah. Oh, for sure.
Yeah.
Always check with always check with the doctor, because
Yeah.
getting
Because
advice. I mean, people like to get people's advice, but make
you don't
sure
got
that
to
you're
listen to me, but I'm just kind of, hey, just throwing out some information about it, like what's kind of helped me. But always, yeah, always
We're not
be
doctors. We're just
due
giving
diligence.
advice.
Yeah,
We're giving
not
it.
a
We're
doctor.
we're just letting you know what we're going through,
Just
our experiences with it. That's it.
pass on the good information that I've acquired and has
Right.
helped me learn and helped me kind of. But yeah, I'm just kind of passing on the message. That's all.
That's right.
No, I'm not making any doctor recommendations. So by
Awesome.
any stretch.
Well,
Yeah.
good talk, man. Good
Yeah, man.
information.
Hopefully that helps somebody out there who's considering something, or
For
looking to
sure.
make a switch. Or
Thank you to whoever's watching, whoever stops by and just says, let me check this video out.
yeah,
We appreciate that.
we appreciate that indeed. Thank you.
All right, man.
Leave a comment below.
Yeah, leave a comment below, or even if do you have any comments about what topics we should be talking about, or you're interested of us talking about, just leave it in the comment below, and we'll take a look at it, and we'll discuss it and put it out there.
Definitely.
Cool. All right, man.
Awesome.
Well, good talking to you, Mike, and we'll talk very soon.
Yeah, man. Always a pleasure.
All
Talk
right,
soon.
man. Take it easy, man.
Okay, peace.
Bye.